And welcome to another episode of Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. I am your host, Lionel McDonald. So, special guest today as we continue our discussion with many women in a variety of different fields, from sports to sneakers, into athletics, obviously, and then in the world and the realm of hip hop. We have RoReckless. Welcome to the pod. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank
Good,
you for having
good.
me.
I'm so glad we got it. We were able to squeeze it into the month of March, but there's been so many requests, and I still have a very long list of people that I wanted to have on the pod. You were definitely one of them. So glad we're able to have this
Yeah.
conversation this evening and really talk about yourself and your passion. So maybe you can share a little bit about yourself, and we'll go from there.
Sure. My name is Ro. Well, my real name is Rocio, but everyone calls me Ro. Reckless was a nickname I got from one of my best friends a few years ago, and it just stuck. So Ro Reckless. Mostly because I just well, at the time in my early 20s, I just liked to do whatever was like fun at the time. So I just purchased a lot of shoes. I liked clothes. I went to concerts. I just try to live my best life in my 20s. So my nickname just stuck, Road Reckless. I am currently a uh, associate at Foot Locker. My passion was always sneakers growing up. So when I was in high school, I tried to get a job at Foot Locker, but it didn't work out. And then I entered the food world. I was a chef for a while, and then my life kind of changed a little bit. And I was given the opportunity to work in the shoe world, and that was kind of my in. And I was like, you know what, I have to keep this job. And it was the best of both worlds, my passion and like making it a job. It's not really a job when I like what I do. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you mentioned sneakers a lot in your intro there. Where did your sneaker love start?
I would have to say, based off my mom, growing up, my mom had the biggest collection of just shoes all around. Collection of sneakers. She loved Converse. She had pretty much every single color, highs, lows, every texture that you could think of growing up, because she grew up really, really poor. So when she moved to Canada from Argentina, she kind of made it her mission that every time she had a little bit of spare money, she would buy herself something nice, and it always happened to be either sandals, heels, or a pair of Chucks. And so growing up, I obviously wasn't able to get all of the shoes that I wanted, but whenever I did like really good in school, or if it was my birthday, or whenever my mom could like save up money, she would always try to buy me a shoe that I was eyeing. So I think it's just like the reward behind um just like getting the shoes and that story, and my mom just not being able to get shoes when she was young. It resonated with me, and so I think I associate shoes with like memories and just like rewards. Yeah,
That's
I think that's
amazing.
why I have such a
So
passion for me.
looking over your shoulder, there is a lot of memories happening there.
Yeah.
What might be the favorite pair that you have in that pile over there behind you? For those that are
Uh,
watching on YouTube.
my favorite pair would probably be just by stories. I think my favorite pair would be my Jordan 11 Breads.
Okay.
They're from 2012. That was the first time I ever lined up for a sneaker, and I lined up for actually funny story. I lined up for a boyfriend to get him the shoes for Christmas. And while I was in line with my friends, I was like, you know what? Like, my friends were like, it's crazy that you're going to line up, buy these shoes for this guy, and you're not going to buy your size. And I was like, you really think that, like, we could match? He's going to be okay with it? And they're like, that's crazy. Why would you not do that? And then I was like, okay, fine. So the mission started off buying his size, and then it ended up being the mission to get my size. So we went to like four different Foot Lockers and Nike stores in the whole city, and we ended up getting like all my friends a pair and myself a pair. So I think that's probably my favorite pair, just based off the fact that I just had to do like a whole mission, and it started my whole like hunger and like love for actually lining up for shoes,
Yeah.
which I've done a lot of times.
Yeah. That's amazing. And again, those are the authentic stories of a sneaker collector, when you have a story that ties you to a particular shoe and what you did. So that was amazing.
Mhm.
Thanks so much for sharing that. So
Oh yeah.
you mentioned Jordan specifically, but why are you so passionate about the Jordan brand and maybe Nike as well?
I think, well, Nike was my first passion. Uh, it was a pair of shoes. I tried looking for the model so I could find the name for it to tell you what it was. But it was a pair of shoes that I got at, I don't know if you're familiar with like the West End, but there's this mall in Jane and Finch called Yorkgate Mall. And
Oh, I
there was a
know it
seafood
very
place.
well.
Yeah. And I
Our
grew up
office
going
used to
there.
be
Like,
there.
that's where I would buy all my shoes. And I don't know, honestly, the myth of them selling fake shoes, I don't know what it was. But
Yeah.
growing up, I always bought shoes there. And there was this pair of Nike shoes that I got. They had two straps on them. They kind of reminded me of like a Converse, but but also a Vans. And it was navy blue, and the sole was white. I bought them because I was learning how to break dance, and they were like
Oh,
perfect for that shoe, or for that activity. And yeah, I remember. Oh my god, lost my train of thought. What was the question?
no, you were talking about this shoe and why you were for breakdance. So
Oh
you,
yeah, Nike. Yeah.
yeah,
So it was
Nike.
that was one of the first shoes that I was like, oh my god. I'm like, I literally, my mom had to steal them and throw them out because I wore them till there was holes on in those shoes. And obviously, because I was breakdancing, they didn't last me more than a year and a half. But
Yeah.
I have like a bunch of photos with those. So Nike was the first, and then I think Jordan was the second because I just a passion between me and my dad, or something we connected with, was watching basketball. And he like his favorite basketball team is the San Antonio Spurs. But growing up, he like always talked to me about Kobe and Jordan and like Pippen and like what he would watch growing up. So I think my passion for like the Jordan brand and just like Jordan himself was like my bond with my dad, and just like my love for basketball.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we were talking before we started recording. It's been a rough winter, a lot of snow. Now April has all of this rain. You know, we're going up to 20 degrees and then back to zero. What are you wearing in your winter rotation with the weather so unpredictable?
Oh my god, the sneakerheads are gonna hate me. But when there was snow and salt on the ground, I have a pair of Uggs. I can't remember the name because I got them like 2 years ago, but they're winterized boots. They're really like, they kind of look like a Yeezy, but they're not a Yeezy boot. So whenever there was snow and ice, I would wear those. And then whenever it was kind of clear and there wasn't a lot of salt, because I'm okay with snow. I hate the salt. My trusty Jordan 3s, I think they're called off Nars, because they, no matter what the weather is, if I spray them with my Jason Mark,
They're good to go.
they're okay. They're good to go. Just like my Thunders, my fours,
Yeah.
the red ones, the yellow ones, or the white ones. I spray them with Jason Mark, and like nothing. I just have to wipe them a little bit, and they're good to go. Maybe in 3 years, I'm not gonna say the same thing, but for now, they're okay.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I had another pair of like leather boots that I wore, but like those are just regular like winter boots. I'm looking to invest in a pair of Uggs next year. They're called Motor Peak. They look really chunky, but they you can like adjust them into like different lengths and stuff,
Yeah.
because I can't destroy any of my shoes
Got it.
anymore.
Got it. So obviously, this year being the 40th anniversary of Jordan is a huge year that's happening. What are some of the anticipated models that you are really looking towards?
Getting well, some that I already missed were the Union and Jordan collab, the Chicago's. I really wanted to get those.
Okay.
Um, I also wanted to get the Jordan 9s, the olives, because they re-retroed them.
Yep.
I wanted to get those, but I missed out. The cool gray 9s that just got released. Those were something I always wanted. Like since grade 9, I was like aching for those shoes, and I never got a chance to get those. I got the black toes.
Okay.
I scored really big on the brick by brick
Wow.
fours.
That's a
Yeah,
huge one.
that was a huge win. So that's a big one. Um, I was I didn't try really hard, but the SB4s, the navies,
Yeah.
just because it's a
They're still
Jordan
kind
4.
of out there. They kind of really haven't fully released, but that's
Yeah,
a hard one to
like,
get. It's going to be hard because it's all in skate shops.
exactly. And like in my size, I did see a few girls win them in like because of the I do follow a lot of the Toronto and Vancouver, Montreal shops, and a few girls did win in their sizes, and then I saw them and I was like, oh, I love it. I love to see more girls embracing the sneaker culture without it being like hard to attain their sizes
Yeah.
because a 4, a 5, super hard to find. Like especially in like in an SB or like a men's sizing shoe, super hard to find. What else? The white cement fours, those I have to
That
get
one
for
is
sure.
for many people, and I have like I don't know what happened with this one. And I had the shoe since '99. You know, that pair is still hanging on by a thread, but I have another pair from the last retro. I definitely am not even interested in. But people, there's so many people that are new or have really
Mm,
come into sneakers recently in the last
yeah,
5 even to 10 years. They have not got a chance to get that shoe. And when we talk about
yeah,
like the coveted Jordans, you know, white cement 4, white cement 3, black cement
mm,
4, black cement 3, like I think plus metallic 5. I think those plus like maybe Concord and bread, like those are the six you
it's the
probably
same.
need to have, plus some form of one, whether it's
Yeah,
Chicago or Black Toe or band, depending on which one you got. Like that's kind of like the essence or like the basics that you kind of need to have. Those six or
hmm,
seven shoes is kind of almost like the starter pack. But
exactly.
they're not
Yeah,
necessarily the easiest ones to get your hands on. So
mm,
there's a
no,
ton of
and I
pairs of those, but it still will be very hard to get because a lot of people have their eyes on it.
yeah, and I remember not getting them because I think I got another pair of Thunders. It was like a bit. It was a situation of like, do you get these
Right.
or do you get these? I'm pretty sure I got like I think I got Toros, and then I ended up getting rid of those because I
Oh,
got a
that is a
small.
classic. That is a classic.
And
We
I
don't
and
even
I
talk
will
about
regret
anymore.
that for yeah, that's a big regret. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, I have to get them. I know a lot of people have them, so I'm hoping that, like people just sleep on them a little bit. I know that they look like a military block, but a white shoe with a cement accent on it is like you said, it's needed and it's needed in your collection if you don't have it. And I'm a big Jordan 3, Jordan 4 collector, so
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that. I think an SB that I might try to get in April is the Utos. They're called the asparagus. They
Yeah.
also got nicknamed the Machas. I love green. Those
Okay.
shoes are
Okay.
gorgeous.
So
I don't know if I'm gonna
you
get
mentioned
them, but
SB. Remember the SB4 from like 2 years ago, or was it even last year?
the pine green,
Yeah.
yes,
Did
the
you get that one?
I only got
Oh,
this.
you only have that. Oh my
I
gosh.
only have this. Funny enough, my boyfriend has 3 pairs. But
Wow.
he's a
How did you get
yeah, he's a
3?
pro skater, so
Okay.
he got them. He skates them. Like all of his shoes are skated. Yeah, so he I tried so hard to win them off Makeway, but actually one of my coworkers won them.
Oh,
And every time
okay.
I was trying to switch her my Travis Scott Phantoms for the fours, but she got her foot was a little too big, and I was like, God damn
Yeah. Oh, too
it. So
bad.
yeah.
Too bad.
So that is my grail. That is my one of my number one grails. And that's the shoe that I was telling you that I'm like every day I see it go up $50 and I'm just like, do I want to buy it for $600?
No. No.
No, I don't.
It's ridiculous.
No, I don't. No. Um Other shoe, what else? Oh, shattered backboards.
Yep.
One other pair of ones. I never got those. I cried. I remember I tried to get them in the satin, the reverse, any kind of way, and I just never got them. Black Cat fours. A no-brainer. I miss those because those were released first with the pony hair, and then they released in the regular kind. And I think it was during COVID, the re-release. And my, I don't know why I thought this. I went to Dufferin Mall, Foot Locker Dufferin Mall, and I see the pony hair, and I see the other one, and the pony hair is on sale for 25%. And in my head, I'm like, in a week, the regular ones will go 25% off, and I'll just buy both.
It didn't happen.
I waited 3 days. I went back and I was like, let me just go check. Nah, they were both gone. They were obviously a 4 and a 4 that was left over, and I
Yeah.
was like, the one that got away. Like this year, I'm gonna try to get two so that I can have a beater and have one on ice because that is a shoe that even though they're all black and they're not that special,
Oh, they
they
are
are special.
special. Don't kid
They
yourself.
are
Those ones
special.
are special. And you mentioned like
So
the pony
special.
hair. The pony hair is
Yes.
really nice. I think it's one
Yeah.
of the more underappreciated fours. Again, like guys
So
couldn't get
underrated.
behind it because it was really in women's sizes, but the pony hair one is really nice.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I went to the AGO with my one of my really good friends the other day, and she was wearing them, and I was like, wait, you wearing black? And I was like, wait, you're wearing pony hair, and she has both pairs. So I was like, okay, small flex there.
Yeah,
The pony hair. I've literally never seen anyone wear the ponies.
yeah,
But yeah, that's a definite one that I wanted. What else? The Jordan 4 Cave Stone. They're like brown. They kind of look like a Travis Scott.
yeah. I've seen that one. I've seen that one.
Yeah, that one's supposed to come in September, I believe.
Yeah.
And then what else? The Aqua 8s.
If you don't have a pair of Aquas, and I think I bought mine when? Jeez, 2007?
2006.
Yeah, 2007,
Oh,
2006.
I was in grade 6. Yeah, I remember. A girl went into my school. She was wearing them, and it was the first day of class. And all I did was shoe contact. I was like, oh, I was like, those are the most beautiful shoes I've
Yeah.
ever seen in my life. And she's like, yeah, they're Aqua 8s. They're my sisters. And I was like, what are these shoes? I need to get them. And then yeah, that was another shoe that like literally piqued my interest. I was like, what is this? I need this shoe. And then when I showed my mom and how much they cost, and at the time they were like 139 in kid size, they're like, that's too much. That's too much. You have your Air Forces. That's okay. And I'm like, okay, great. Air Forces, and they were mids. They weren't even lows or highs. They were the Air Force mids.
Yeah.
So
Where Air Force is gone, like before, there was a point that only people bought mids. You
yeah,
had to have mids.
it's a
Then
cult. They
there
have a
was
cult following.
a small window that highs were the thing, and then
Hmm.
we're now in like we don't even carry mids. We
The
don't even carry
lows.
highs. It's lows or nothing.
But you'd be surprised the amount of people that ask me, and like if we were to sell the mids, we could probably sell multiple to people because
It's
I
so
used
hard to
to
find
work
now.
for
You can't get them. So if
yeah,
you were to
you
launch
can't even
a
find them on
white
Nike.
mid and a black mid,
Yeah,
people would buy like two pairs because they don't know when they're going to see it again.
exactly. Yeah, my boss used to only like exclusively wear mids, and I think I started working at Foot Locker when they were just like they were just about to discontinue them, and I remember him going, and then he went after they stopped selling. He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "The last time I went, I bought 4 pairs just in case." He's like, "I haven't been able to find mids ever." I'm like, I like just made a joke. I was like, finally, they discontinued Dad shoe. They didn't want to make it anymore.
Wow.
Funny though, because he used them for working out, for going for like running, for literally everything, and like the bottom sole, you could see a hole in the shoes. I think it was the strap that they liked a lot. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much my list. I didn't get a chance to really get the one grail that I really wanted, which is the 85s,
That was a
the
hard one to
Brevy.
get. That was a hard one to get for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
And again,
in my
yeah, people love mids. If we go back to mids, just to wrap that up, like people watch Rasheed Wallace in the '90s and the early 2000s. He played for the Detroit Pistons and Portland Trailblazers. He used to play
mhm.
ball like in the NBA in Air
And Air
Force,
Force mids.
and he wear Air Force mids to the point like he had such a cult following. They actually made him his own Air Force High with
Air
his
Force.
own logo on it. The way that he shoots is the logo on it. It's amazing.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Okay, since we're on the topic of mids, how do you feel about Jordan 1 mids? What's like? Let's
I'm not.
discuss this.
I'm not. It all depends on the colorway. Like, am I gonna go run out and buy like 30 pairs of mids? Like I have highs and probably I don't know how many pairs of lows I have. Like I like OG lows. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
SE
The
lows.
little.
I only like the OG colorways that is literally a high that they
Hmm.
just cut it off and it's a low. There are
Yeah.
some good ones. Like I remember years ago they launched. Oh, which one was it? There was a bread or band mid. I like that one. I
Hmm.
don't care what anyone says. I'll wear it and like it is the look of the high, and I can wear it in horrible weather, and it doesn't matter. I'm not
No one
worried about
knows.
it. So
Yeah.
when you put
I think
when you put your pant leg over it, it looks just the
no
same.
one
So
never knows. Yeah.
there's
I
a
think that
handful of
they
mids
also.
that I do like. Particularly, there was a couple collaborations that they've done that are mids. They don't do them nearly as much anymore. I think
Hmm.
more specifically, they've made some
Women's.
amazing women's mids.
Hmm.
Aaliyah May, amongst others that are
Melanie.
only been mids. So I
Hmm.
think mids have a place at the table maybe not a big place, and maybe it's
Yeah.
not for everyone. I'm still a high first, low
Hmm.
second, mid third, and
Yeah.
mid third would be a distant third, but there still are some good mid colors.
Hmm.
Because when you just start rolling out all the lows in all the OG colors, that's why it kind of takes the cake for me. If they start
Hmm.
making mids in OG colors, maybe I think differently.
Yeah. No, I think that one of the best mids that they ever came out with as a collab was the Melanie Assad,
Yeah,
the one with the Rolex clocks
that is
on the
fire.
faces.
People
Like
love
those,
that one.
love that. Like I think that them trying to like make the Jordan mid cool again by using like women and just like exclusively targeting women, especially because I think a mid is much easier to like dress up like as a girl. Like you could dress it with a skirt. Sometimes I feel like the highs look a little too like,
It's too
even
much.
though they're basketball shoes, even though they're really not, like it looks like too manly sometimes. I think women always gravitate to the mids and like they always do more girly colors. So I like that they're doing that, especially with the collabs, like we mentioned. Most of the collabs that they've come out with are just like really nice, really wearable. I like the different textures, the different materials, the different fabrics that they're using. I think that they should really invest a little bit more into like the Jordan mids. I mean, yes and no. Like I like your idea of the OG colorways, and also I think that they should bring back the Jordan 2s. That's a shoe that should come back in a lot of
That is the
colorways
most
too.
hated shoe outside the 15, and I don't know why. I
I don't know
personally,
why.
I love the Jordan 2. The Jordan 2 is the most hated on shoe outside the 15, and I don't know why it gets such negative press. Yeah, Mike didn't play very well. He got hurt in that shoe, but
It makes
I
sense.
think it was the shoe that didn't have a swoosh, and it changed. It was made out of different materials. We had different designers, but I think people are
Mhm.
so hung to the fact that Tinker Hatfield entered the game at the Jordan 3 and kind of really
Mhm.
turned things around, because when Mike was hurt, then no one was wearing a shoe because he wasn't on the court. So people started feeling a way about it. And that the story goes is those designers
Mhm.
were gone. Mike was now questioning things to say, oh, here's my shoe and I got hurt in it. I don't know if you can say it's the shoe's fault. So Tinker Hatfield shows up with the Jordan 3. So, okay, this is amazing. I'll wear
Mhm.
this. And the rest is history. Like, many people,
Yeah, literally.
they say that that shoe, the Jordan 3, saved the whole Jordan line. Like, Jordan is only a billionaire because of the Jordan 3 and
Jordan
how
3.
that turned the momentum of everything that happens. So it is what it is.
I see that. Yeah.
So as I mentioned, we wrapped up on Air Max month. Let's do a this or that rapid fire on some of the Air Max that have come out over the years. So, do you prefer Air Max 97 or Air Max 95?
95s.
Okay. Do
95s.
you prefer Air Max 1 or Air Max 90?
90.
Okay. Do you prefer any version or the family of Barclays or the family of pennies?
I like the pennies. A little biased because it came out in 94 and that was the year I was born.
Okay, fair enough. There's got to be a reason. Um, do you like the up tempo 95 or the air more up tempo? The air more up tempo is the one that says air written on the side.
The Air more up tempos. I like the feature that it has the Air
Got
Max
it.
on the bottom, like a lot more defined.
Okay. Do you prefer we're going to go outside the realm of air. Do you prefer the Vomero 5 or do you prefer the Nike Shock?
The Vomeros, I
Vomero.
think. I like the look of the shock, but I think I like the Vomeros, just how light they are. They're comfier, very light.
Okay.
Yeah, Vomero vibes.
So let's talk about a little bit about Jordans as we wrap this
Hmm.
up. So Jordan 3 or Jordan 4?
I can't pick. Like
Oh, come on.
I can't pick.
You
I
got to
literally
pick
can't. If you
one.
put a gun to my head, I literally would be like one.
Okay.
What would you pick, 3 or 4?
4, no question. And
I
I'm
want
in
to
the
pick three
I will
just
tell you,
because.
I'm in the minority. I've been a
And why the four? Which one specifically?
black cement 4 is my favorite shoe, otherwise known as bread. The reason I
The
say
breads.
black cement, the original pair and the retro in 99, it doesn't even say red on the box. So I don't know how you call it bread when it says black cement. Like I can show you the
But did it
label.
have the some? It had the cement like
Yeah,
print
don't
on
get me
it.
wrong. There's red in it. It doesn't say red on the box. So
Oh,
it's only this generation when they
mm-hmm.
redid the shoe. I want to say it was first the countdown
2018.
pack in '08, then the retro in 24, and then the retro in 2018. It added
That's
the
the one I have.
color red onto the box. So,
Yeah.
but before that, I even had an argument with a couple guys, and I literally took
Mm-hmm.
a picture. It's like, see this? This is the
Mm-hmm.
first retro in '99. It says black
Yeah.
slash cement. There's no red.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't call it bread.
Black cement.
We call it
Mm.
black
Oh.
cement. It's an OG.
Yeah. No.
It's an OG thing.
I honestly, and this might sound terrible, but I got them, but I hated the reimagines. Like, why did they change it to leather? The nubuck, I have mine, and the bottom is fully cracking because they're from 2018, and I want to wear them so bad, but I'm afraid that if I walk, all you will see is a trail of my shoe. But
That's
I
happened to
think
me.
that
I wore a pair of shocks
I remember
recently,
your shocks,
and that I total shocks from 2000, and literally blue
the blue.
crumbled all the way down my steps to my car. I made like three
That's
trips, and it's like,
insane.
what's this blue on the ground? And I look,
Yeah,
and then like literally the shocks were talking. So
separated. Mhm.
that's how it
Yeah,
goes
I
sometimes.
think. I think back to your question though, based off the amount of shoes, based off, I think the threes. I have more threes than fours.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So,
and the cement three is my personal favorite
and
shoe
that's
of all
and
time.
that's a great choice.
I think that's
That's
what.
a great choice.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
what about Jordan 11 versus Jordan 1?
Jordan one.
Okay.
Okay. I love Jordan 11s, but Jordan one overall.
And then Jordan 5 versus Jordan 6.
Ooh. Oh man. Oh, that's so hard. My first pair was the Carmine sixes. Like, six. Jordan six. I might go against the grain. I think six. I like the Jordan fives, but I think a six. Yeah, six.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
So um, you mentioned your mom, you mentioned your boyfriend, you also
hmm
mentioned SBs. So how did you get involved in loving SBs?
Well, I growing up, I always was fascinated by skateboarding, and I would watch skate videos. Um, then like I had a few partners that really liked skateboarding, and so again, I started watching a lot of skate videos. And then with my current boyfriend that I've been with for 3 years, he is like, well, we connected based off sneakers, our love for sneakers. But at the time, he was wearing mostly Vans because he was skating for that brand. So he never wore Nike, but he loved Nike shoes. And my love for Jordan shoes, we just connected, and we just kind of started investing a lot of time into getting more SBs, and I just became just like obsessed with it. I had like the Dunk book. I started watching documentaries. I reread the Shoe Dog book just so I can like see if there was any snippets or talking about like SB. Just like learning more about other skaters that are getting recognition, getting their own shoes, because there's a lot of new skaters that are getting silhouettes besides SBs that are really cool. A lot of women, queer people are getting shoes, especially for like skateboarding, which is very like it's a specific community. Seeing people of color getting their own shoes for that community is to me super admirable. So like it's something that I hope and can see in the future for my partner, because he wants to be a part of the Nike SB brand really badly because that's what he admires. And I'm like, I think it's just that like my hunger for him to be a part of it, and just like, have you seen SBs? Like, have you seen a lobster? I have the orange ones, and that just opened this Pandora box for seeing the green ones, the blue ones, and the yellow ones in person. I'm just like, if I could give all my Jordans and just get SBs, I probably would, because just it's just like the dunks, every color, the textures, and they're so comfy and cushiony.
Yeah.
Like I, I love everything about it. I love everything about the culture too.
Yeah, yeah, those what the dunks are unbelievable. And yeah, like for those that don't know, like an SB dunk is totally different than a regular dunk. The cushioning,
Hmm.
the feel, the sport, like it's truly made to skate, and
Hmm.
it fits totally different than one of the other ones. So yeah,
100%. Like the tongue,
yeah, yeah. The
that
tongue is
fat
a
tongue is insane.
whole different piece and a whole
Yeah,
different animal, right? So
yeah.
as we wrap up here, definitely want to talk because again, this series was based on women in sneakers and in hip hop and obviously in sport. But so, from your opinion, um, what are your thoughts about what sneaker culture for women is like today, and what do you think needs to change?
Well, I think today I can see the change from like 10, 15 years ago when I was just getting into sneakers and it was predominantly male dominated like industry, like even just like collectors. It was I in lines I would mostly see men, and if I did see women it would usually be the girlfriends waiting in line to get them another pair or a pair for their boyfriends. So I saw a lack of like, following of shoes for women, but I also did see like the OG women collectors. Like when I see them, sometimes I'll see like on Instagram, I'll see these huge closets, and it's like this lady that's like, my mom's age, and I'm like, oh my god, like when did you start this? And it's just like, like growing up in certain parts of the world, I think gives you access to getting like these kind of shoes. And I wish that I grew up in those kind of communities where I could have been exposed to sneakers a lot earlier, so I could have like had 95 more Air Maxes or more different types of Nikes that I don't have now. I wish that I could have been exposed to that, but I like that now there's women only sneaker stores where you can go and like feel safe and be okay with not having to like wait in line or not having your size or people not catering to what you like and what you need. um I think that something that I encountered in the last couple of months working at Foot Locker was the lack of options for young women athletes. Like a lot of young girls would come in and asking me like, I'm looking for a volleyball shoe, I'm looking for a basketball shoe, and I would just be like, well, we have these three options for basketball shoes that are good for volleyball but also good for basketball. But yeah, I only have three sizes available for you, because I keep seeing a lot of men come and buy these shoes, and I'm a big believer in wear your shoes. I don't like seeing Kobe's collecting dust. Kobe's are made to be worn, not to collect dust, not to collect money. So I feel like the resale culture has kind of ruined it for a lot of ladies, and it also has discouraged me. Like I'm telling you, like I have to pay upwards of like $500 for my size when my shoe size costs $150, $160, just because you know people want to make more money.
Yeah,
I
that's crazy.
don't like that. I don't like having to get screamed at by a mom because she's frustrated because I don't have basketball shoes for her daughter, because the like the jaws that she wants only come in a size 8 and up, and her kid's a size 6. Like now they're slowly trickling more used sizes and certain silhouettes of Nike. But I'm like, come on, like how is it that there's only one women's shoe available, which is the Sabrina, or like sometimes the Scotty, I think the Scotty, the Puma shoe, but
Oh,
it's like
you mean the
the
Stewie two,
The Stewie, yes, the
Or
Stewie,
Stewie
yes,
three? So
yeah,
it's taking time, and we've gone a long time since the '90s, essentially, where we had Cheryl Swoops had her own Nike basketball shoe with full
in
length shoe.
'95,
So
yeah,
it's been we're talking the '90s since there were women that have their own shoe, but continue to
27 years.
continue to give it
That's how
time.
long.
We're at Sabrina now. Before we know it, next year Caitlin Clark, or later this year Caitlin Clark will have her own shoe. Um, Asia
The one.
Wilson will have her own shoe coming out this year. Like it already launched in South
Mhm.
Carolina, where she went to university, and it
Yeah,
sold
I
out. It
saw the
sold out that
saw her.
literally that day, and they could have sold 1,000 pairs, and I think they
Yeah.
only had a couple hundred. So those are going to release. in April / May. So I think there's going to be some more energy. And then, there's other athletes like Kelsey Plum. That's an Under Armour athlete. She's been wearing Curry's for the longest time. Eventually, I
Hmm.
think they're going to develop her own shoe. And then there's other athletes out there that are under the Jordan brand. So it will only be a matter of time before, whether it's Jewel Lloyd or Kia Nurse, as an example, has been wearing one. We have so many
There's some
athletes now coming through
Adidas.
the pipe.
Yeah.
Paige Beckers, and a few years from now, when she gets better after her knee injury, Juju Watkins, amongst others, will all be in the
Yeah.
league all at the same time, all with their own
Hmm.
shoe. There's been some
Yeah.
special makeups, but people haven't gotten their own signature shoe. But I think those times are changing as we're seeing women in
Yeah.
sport and women's basketball specifically absolutely take off. So we're
Yeah.
in a good
I
place now, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I just hope that, like they're ready for the demand because there is a huge demand. Like I love to see these young ladies coming in and they're so excited and they're, all they want is just to perform and do what they love and like want more. Like it's such a huge market. I don't understand why they waited, 27 years to be like, "Oh, let's introduce more women shoes or like more like women athlete shoes." Like there should have been like this should have been a thing before. Like we should have introduced this so much earlier. And I also really like what Vanessa's doing for the Kobe brand.
Yeah,
I think that also something that is really exciting to finally see that it's going to be more attainable. Everyone's going to be able to get a chance to walk into a Foot Locker, walk into a Nike store and try on the shoes like it was intended. Like I say it again, shoes are meant to be worn, not to collect dust. And if it's a basketball shoe, yes, you could wear it while you're walking on in the mall, but also allow basketball players to get the shoes so that
yeah,
they can strive and do what they got to do.
yeah. Because the
Yeah.
Kobe brand, specifically, that line was not in a good place like the last 2 or 3 years. They
Mhm.
had shoes available that were, they made, but they
Mhm.
went to certain people and were seated with certain people, or there was very limited access. But then you see your favorite NBA player, Jalen Brunson,
Right.
or this person or that person, all wear Kobe's on court,
Mhm.
but they're not available in any store. No
Anywhere.
Kobe 4, Kobe 5, Kobe 6, Kobe 8,
Mhm.
can't get them. But
Yeah.
the wheel, like, we've already seen some Kobe's in stores this year.
Yeah.
Wait till probably by back to school, we'll feel
Mhm.
totally different about Kobe, because it will feel like you can go to a store and buy it like you buy a KD or a Ja or a Zion,
Or a Jordan.
or
Yeah.
a Jordan, for that
I mean,
matter. So
that's what made the culture, right?
yeah,
It was seeing Jordan on the big screen or like on TV and be like, "Hey, I want to get those cement threes. I could play like Mike." And then you can actually walk into the mall, save up all your money, and buy the shoes. It shouldn't be, "Oh, let me wait until I can go on StockX and buy the shoes." Like that shouldn't be the case. You should be able to go into a store and get the shoes. Like I'm the Kobe's that are coming out, the highs.
yeah. So there's a
Those,
What the Kobe 8 that comes out
yeah.
in April, and then in
Hmm.
May there's a What the Kobe 9 that's like the
Yeah.
high with two different colors. They look
Yeah, that looks
wild.
insane. The red and the blue. Oh
Yeah,
my god, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I'm so excited this year and next year. Like, I feel like sneaker culture's back. I mean, seeing all this sounds terrible, but seeing all like the commotion in the states of people trying to get shoes again, I'm like, this is all you had to do. You just had to bring the retros. Like the retro fives, I think awoke everyone, and then with the the black cats, also the nines, the cool gray nines. Like I've been
Blue
waiting.
Game
I'm
12s,
praying.
like, people are
The
definitely
flu games.
after those ones. Like,
Oh my god, that was
yeah,
insane. Like seeing OGs come into the store and be like, "Yo, you got the 12s, you got the 12s." I was like, "Finally." I was like, "Finally people that are going to wear
yeah,
shoes." Yeah, it was
yeah.
exciting to see. I
There's
think 2025 is going to be exciting.
there's been a lot of, I call it, you know misses by Nike, and trying to just reinvent and put out other colors. Now, you can't do the OGs like all the time, but there's so
Mhm.
much in the chamber that has never gotten retroed, or it's only been retroed once, or hasn't been retroed in 15 or 20 years, that they can
Mhm.
just keep going back and put these out. And there's people that want them. There's the OGs that
Yeah.
want them. There's the OGs younger brother that wanted them that because they saw Big Brother have them. Then there's the OG's
Yeah.
kids. Then there's the kids
I want them.
that are somewhere in between. Then there's the
Hmm.
reseller. Then there's the person that's just getting into the game. Then there's the 10-year-old that's heard all of these stories of how important the shoe is and the significance. And
Hmm.
again, Nike has been the master of storytelling. That's why this is a multi-billion-dollar brand. But the more stories that we can hear about some of these shoes and what Mike did or what Kobe did or whoever, I think it's
Hmm.
only going to bring, more energy back to the sneaker game. And I think more energy means more sneakers and more concepts that they'll create. For a brand that is, prominently making basketball shoes, but is not necessarily anywhere near as popular as Nike or Jordan. I think they're doing some great things with Mellow Ball. Like his favorite show
Hmm.
was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we've seen that
Oh
come
yeah,
out.
that was
And
cool.
and
Yeah.
like I think you at one point, if you bought them online, if you had bought each of the Ninja Turtle ones, you would get Shredder for free. And like, so like those things are fun
Cool.
and those are
Yeah.
exciting and engaging to the customer. And again, many people grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s
Oh yeah.
watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they know exactly what that is. And now we
Yeah.
have a young guy, one of the better point guards in the league. His inspiration and what excites him is now coming back to court. And that is these bright colors are really appealing to the kids that are 7, 8, 9, and then there's the other group that's a little older than them, 13, 12, 11, 10 down the line. Those kids are excited to wear Puma as a
Uh,
brand. So
yeah.
the way that unfortunately with Nike deciding to sell a lot of things and COVID and what all those things did, it gave an avenue for New Balance, it gave an avenue for Asics, it gave an avenue for Puma, it gave an avenue for Adidas in many regards. That's why
Yeah.
one of the
Adidas trying
best
to make a
shoes is
comeback.
Hardman shoe. You know, the things that happen
And
with
the Hardens
Kyrie,
are nice.
yeah,
The
the
nines.
things that happen with Kyrie is now wearing Anta, and Anta's
Oh, I
arguably
love
the
Anta.
best basketball performance shoe that's on the market. So there is so many
And it's
good
so
things happening.
affordable. Yeah.
Affordable, high performance. Klay Thompson also wears it amongst other NBA players. So more sneakers for more occasions is an amazing thing for the
Hmm.
environment. So I got one more question before we wrap up today.
Sure.
So you kind of talked about, women's basketball and so many different things that you'd love to see, just how we just need more women's sneakers. Outside the outside just having more sneakers for women, is there something else? Do we need to market to more women? Does there need to be more women's sneaker shops like we have Makeway? And hey, Makeway is the prototype and the anomaly, and there's not a lot of places, and people travel to Toronto that are sneakerheads
Hmm.
that come specifically just to go to Makeway. But what would be one other thing that in your mind you would love to see? Is thinking about, we just passed Women's History Month. What is one other thing you'd love to see different in the world of sneakers for women?
I think that there should be more like there's always a backlash when people see these women only stores. Like it's always like, why is it just women? There's no just men. Like I think that there should be when there's marketing in terms of like, this is a line catered to women. Like I think that there should also be a story and an explanation and the importance. Like I think that there should be more education, so that people can understand the importance of it, because it's important to me because I'm a woman, and it's important to someone like you because you understand like what it is to lack representation in a world like as big as the sneaker world or just in general. I think that if you don't live it, you don't understand it. And I think that like the marketing should also just be a little bit more approachable, more realistic. Like I love when brands use, they go to real schools and they use kids and like they show like young people and what it's like to wear these brands and the clothes and how they feel. Like I think that they should market a little bit more with like, I don't know, more an approach that is real, and more information, more knowledge, more enlightening people, and a lot more collaborations with different athletes in different, like, in other sports. Like, I like that we have Serena Williams for tennis. Like, I think that we should have more representation for, like, soccer, other like male dominated sports. Who knows, maybe baseball, like gymnastics, running. Like, Nike is a big like they have a big collection for Nike shoes, for running Nike shoes. I don't ever see a female runner, like show, promoting a Nike shoe. One of the Nike shoes that I just saw got banned from being used in marathons because it has what is it, carbon fiber in it that makes it like super fast. I think the record was broken for like
The
running
marathon,
20
yeah,
miles,
the
yeah, in
marathon
an
got broken
hour.
in that shoe, and they think it's a competitive advantage. But
Yeah,
I think you're onto a great point here. And how do we market more specifically to women? How do we talk about more stories about more athletes that are not just basketball? I think basketball's kind of got the forefront now in everyone's attention.
yeah,
Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson and the WNBA growing and college basketball.
like
Like literally, the women's game is more exciting than the men's game.
more
It's
exciting.
got almost as
Yeah,
many eyes on it now, if not more.
their championship game, I think, got the highest viewage in men and women's college
It
ball.
did.
Like,
It
that's
did.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
what was it, 9.9 million people watching? Like, that's crazy. I think that would be cool for other sports to be like seen. And I also think that we should find a way for, young men who are like fathers and like, or just like a brother, to find a way to relate to these stories as well, because it would be cool to be like, hey, like, you should like look into these Sabrina shoes because she's an amazing basketball player. Like, should look into this because she's a great athlete. Like, making more of an excitement for both genders. I think everyone should be excited about basketball shoes. Like, I love seeing, young men also come into the store and be like, "Hey, do you have the Sabrinas?" And I see them putting it on because they want to wear the shoe. Like, I like to see that excitement. I think that it's just also availability. Like, I think that they should make more. I think it should be more accessible. They shouldn't make it in such a limited amount so that the hype can be built and more people will want to wear the shoes. Off court, like to be able to wear a woman's shoe is like amazing. Like, whenever I wear my Melanie Assads, I'm like, hey, like, this is a Jordan made by a woman, and I'm wearing it and I'm a woman. Like, it's amazing. You can't do that all the time, like, especially with Nike, you can't always do it. So I think, yeah, marketing, availability, storytelling, excitement, I think all of that could bring like a new life and a new look into women's sneakers. And I think a lot of other brands should be a part of this as well. Obviously, not just Nike and Jordan.
Yeah, I definitely think that's where we're going to have to go in the foreseeable future. But I think you hit the nail on the head and some of the ideas. And I love the idea of having more men as allies talking about some of the brands and some of the things that are out there and are exciting. So maybe you can share really quick how people can find you on Instagram, see your collection, see some of the things that you're doing.
Oh yeah. Well, if anybody wants to find me, all my socials are the same. That's Reckless, ReCkless. I do little TikTok videos where I love coffee, so I'll feature a coffee shop, a local coffee shop in Toronto, and then a sneaker. So if you want to see my sneaker collection, you can see it mostly on TikTok or on Instagram. I also have my collection. I did a March no repeat challenge because March is my birthday month. So you guys can see every shoe that I wore for the month of March. It was super hard to not repeat, but I did it. And I'm excited to wear slides the entire month of April. That's a joke. Probably gonna wear Jordans
Yeah,
still.
you know where Jordan, it's going to rain, so there's no chance you're wearing slides.
Yeah. And then the Asics that are coming out
Yeah.
on Friday, the Wanda and Cosmo
Yeah,
Asics.
I'll be
My
looking
friend
for your
got my
posts with those things on. So,
yeah. You will see me. You'll be shocked. Everyone will be shocked.
all right, Ro. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone that's been that will listen to this on Spotify, on Apple, on Google, or wherever you catch your podcast. This obviously will be live on YouTube as well. Again, thank you, Ro, for joining the pod. Much appreciated your insights and your passion for sneakers, but different than what we get from most other people. A lot of people talk about Jordans, but I love the SB element. I'd love you sharing the story about your mom. So much appreciated. We
Yeah.
talked about this a lot and you being on, so I'm glad that we've actually
I
landed the plane
appreciate
and
it.
got you on here. So much
Yeah.
appreciated.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was awesome
Yeah.
being like a part of this. I watched your other podcasts, and I admire a lot of the other ladies that you featured and all the other guests you've had in the past. So honestly, a pleasure for me. I appreciate being here, and it was awesome. The questions were amazing.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much. So that's it. That's the episode today. Appreciate everyone listening, and we'll definitely catch you on the next episode. We out.